NATO is developing a plan to respond to possible military aggression by Russia and is preparing to put new demands on alliance members to strengthen air defenses and replenish reserves of long-range missiles. This was reported by Reuters, citing an anonymous comment from a European diplomat. At the same time, the Telegraph, relying on its sources, publishes new plans of the alliance in case of escalation.
Existing plans call for US troops to land in Dutch ports before boarding trains that will take them through Germany and on to Poland. In the event of a Russian invasion of NATO, US troops would be moved to the port of Rotterdam and then sent east. But behind the scenes, measures are also being taken to expand roads to other ports to ensure that the landline of communication is not interrupted by Moscow's forces. If NATO forces entering from the Netherlands are subjected to Russian bombardment or northern European ports are destroyed, the alliance intends to turn its attention to ports in Italy, Greece and Turkey. From the Telegraph.
Similar plans have been developed for transporting troops from Turkish and Greek ports through Bulgaria and Romania, according to the Telegraph. Plans to transport troops through ports in the Balkans, as well as through Norway, Sweden and Finland, are also under discussion.
We must be ready for war by 2029. We must provide deterrence to prevent the worst from happening. Three issues are central: manpower, materials and finance. In an emergency, we need young men and women who can defend this country.
At the same time, Norway's chief of defense is confident that the alliance has less time, up to 3 years, to prepare for a possible confrontation. The Baltic states, which share a border with Russia, are also talking about the increased threat. They are already restoring conscription and training reservists, and the German edition of Bild, citing its own sources in the intelligence agencies of European countries, reported that Russia will try to attack NATO countries in late 2024 or early 2025. At the same time, the alliance itself has not yet publicly expressed such fears.
We don't see an immediate threat to any of the NATO members, and right now, of course, Russia is more than busy with the war in Ukraine. They have moved a lot of forces from territories close to Finland and northern European countries into Ukraine. NATO is 50% of the world's total military strength. It is the most powerful military alliance in the world, and the purpose of standing one for all and all for one, our principle of collective defense under Article 5, is to prevent attacks. Jens Stoltenberg during a press conference quoted by Voice of America.
While the Western military establishment is developing plans for the likely defense of NATO members' territories, politicians are sticking to their rhetorics. Aid to Ukraine should not stop, but war between NATO and Russia should be avoided by all means possible.
As we support Ukraine, we must at the same time be mindful of how to prevent escalation that could lead to war between Russia and NATO. I promise that no matter how strong the pressure is, I will always act cautiously to resolve issues in such a dangerous situation. We must avoid a big war, a war between Russia and NATO. At the same time, we must ensure that Ukraine can defend its sovereignty and independence.
The scenario of NATO countries defending themselves against a Russian attack was partially simulated during the largest exercises held in Europe since the Cold War. The exercise officially ended at the end of May, but more than 100,000 military personnel remain on high alert. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Larisa Petruk, UATV News.